Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Voyager class Starscream figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We will of course do some comparisons, even though they're not that relevant, with him and his original Generation 1 self. And then we'll also have a look at some other Starscream figures that aren't exactly based directly on the Generation 1 version, to do a bit of comparisons. So before we get started, I need to thank Robot Recruit, because that's where I purchased this from, and as you can see they got it to me nice and safely. You'll also notice that it is actually opened, and that's because they did open it and use him for some promotional photos. Right, let's try and keep this glare out of the way, because we've got this lovely image there of him from, of course, the movie. You can see that he is number 72, and this is a Voyager class figure. We've got the number 72 on the side again, and there again is his head and the Studio Series logo. And we can see there both modes, which they're saying is a Tetrajet, but it looks very much like a T-16 Skyhopper to me. Anyway, let's have a look at the particular figure then. So as I've said, it's already opened. It's easy to just slide this out like so. So the accessories which we've got, of course, is his large blaster, and we've got two of these as well, which will fit on the wings. For the backdrop, we've got the image of Cybertron Falls. These again, lovely, sturdy, robust card backdrops. We've got the instructions, which is quite big because it is 31 steps, and I should be able to just set him free from there, no real issues. Yep, there we go. So there's the other blaster that's just fell off as well. Let's just balance him there for a second and just turn this out of the way so we haven't got so much of a glare. So what we're able to do now then, because we've got him straight out, is some things I like to call first impressions, and the clue is in the title, and it's exactly that. So we've got a lovely head sculpt there, very detailed, lovely use of the chrome. And as I say, that is actually shining. It's not like a dull normal gunmetal grey. It's looking great. Lovely paint taps everywhere, great attention to detail on the inside of the forearms. This follows it down into the legs as well. You can see that pretty much there's loads of things all tucked up and inside, and again you can tell that from the instructions, purely because the fact that it's going to take so many to do the transformation. You've got lovely translucent yellow plastic there where it looks like they're separating or going to join up the nose cone. At the back we've got the Decepticon logos tamper-graphed on. We've got lots of articulation in the wings, and you can bring them back, forward, in, out, twist them around up to the side. You really can display these wings however you want to, even in this particular mode. The head itself is on a ball and socket. Oh yes, it definitely is. So that moves around freely. As you can see, it just goes straight back on. I didn't know it was going to do that. Shoulders will go all the way around, out to the side. Bicep flexion. Is there a wrist swivel? Now I'm not too sure, because they do bend, but that is only for the transformation process. But you've still got the elbow flexion. We've got a wrist swivel, not a wrist, a waist swivel, but this tends to get in the way, so just lift that up ever so slightly. The hips will go to the side, to the front, knee bend, ankle tilt and rock. Again, as you would expect, brand new figure, full range of articulation. The only thing it looks like this is missing is wrist articulation, but it can't because of the transformation process. Yeah, look at it, it's great. It takes a full homage brilliantly to the Generation 1 colours, and as I've said in pretty much every video I've done so far on these Studio Series Bumblebee movie figures, that they have done a very successful job of bridging the gap between the movie figures and the Generation 1 figures, because I know loads of people who now really enjoy these and enjoy collecting them. So that's first impressions done. Next part of the video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in its alternate mode before coming back to robot mode to have a look at his accessories and do some comparisons. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, we're in the alternate mode already. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. It will be uploaded separately though if you want to see it. Two reasons for doing that. One is to keep the main length of this video down, and the other is not to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want to see it. We already know that this mold has been used for Thrust and the new Thundercracker one, so it is quite a nice, complex and quite satisfying transformation process. So if you don't want it spoiled, it's not going to be on here. You'll have to watch it separately. Anyway, it's a great great alternate mode. We need to add a few things on it in a second just to make it look that little bit better. So this is the movie incarnation, or their version of a Tetrajet. So the Tetrajet was the original jet that was seen in the cartoon all them years back, and funnily enough in Siege and well, Siege mainly, we had these figures. Now this is an unofficial one, this is a custom nacelle painted by a friend, but this gives you the idea of what the Tetrajet looks like. So it's not a bad homage to it, is it? To be honest, it does look good. Now this is falling all over the place because what we need to do is we need to take this large gun. We've got a big cutout there and two small cutouts either side, and on the underside of here we've got these large tabs there and the two small ones either side. So if we locate this into position and then click that on, you can see that's going to hold that together a lot better, and it will in fact help it balance more as well. We're also going to take these weapons, we're going to pop these on the underside of the wings like so, and then we can have a nice look at him. And as I say, I like this, I love the color scheme, I think it looks great. There's them Decepticon logos which we saw earlier. Lots of this is all tucked away nice and snug. You can't really see anything. I mean, we know that obviously they're the hands, but you can't really see much at all. Legs are tucked away, head's tucked away behind there. Lovely detail there on the front of the nose cone. There's the translucent plastic for the cockpit. And again, you can move these, twist these, lift these up, out, etc. Position them however you want to be honest. Detail there on the thrusters at the back. Just a great figure, and it's, again, I've said this a few times now with some of the Hasbro and Takara products. I really feel that they're starting to up their game with some things, especially after, I suppose, a few fails that they had with the Earthrise toy line, like mismatched colours and things. I don't think, in honesty, there's much more to say about this, apart from it does look great, and they've obviously used this mould again for some of the other figures afterwards, so it can't be that bad. I think what we need to do now then is come back for the final time in his robot mode and do some more comparisons and see how he stands with his weapons. Boom. So then, here we are back for the final time in his robot mode, and this is the main reason because I'm going to be displaying him like this. One thing I did notice when I was transforming him back, that perhaps they could have maybe put some Decepticon logos there just to round it off a little bit, but that's maybe just me being a little picky, and I suppose I can't remember seeing them in the movie, so that's probably the main reason why they're not there. With regards to his accessories, you can if you want. It's quite difficult. You've got this small little 5mm peg there. If you want, you can pop them in his hands. It's not the easiest thing to do. Let me see if I can do it without getting stuck leaning over the camera. And there we go. So you can pop one in there and one in this one as well. So that's one way that you can use them. It doesn't look the greatest, let's be honest. It's not too bad, but it could be obviously far better. What we're gonna do then, I'm gonna put these where they're of course supposed to go, which is on the inside of the wings here, like so. And the large gun, this time, instead of going for the tabs there, we've of course got the 5mm peg there, and we're gonna pop this in here like so as well. And I think, yeah, this guy poses brilliantly. Let's have a look what he looks like with his official backdrop. Now, this official backdrop will work, whereas some of the ones I've been doing recently with the Bumblebee just doesn't really work, because that got the glare on. Let's try and get rid of the glare. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks good. Yeah, that works. The display stand actually really works with this particular figure, but I'm going to take it out of the way just so there's no glare, and we're going to round off with a couple of comparisons and stick some other movie bots up there as well. So this was of course his original G1 incarnation, which I know it's a completely different jet, and he doesn't really look like that at all. And rather than just doing another Siege one, I got this guy because this is another version of him which isn't G1. So this was based on the Fall of Cybertron game, so this is a different version of him again, because most of the incarnations of him are of course Generation 1, whereas this one is slightly different. That's the IDW, no, sorry, it's the game take, and of course this is the movie take. Let's move these out of the way and see how he looks and displays with some of the cast of the film. So he looks great there, of course, with Soundwave. Is Soundwave going to stand? He's been standing on something different. There he is. A little Ravage would look all right. coming into play there. I've got core class Shockwave, but he'll just look really odd with it. With regards to some of the Autobots, the size comparisons, he's huge. This is the biggest one of the Autobots, Ratchet. And then the smaller ones like your Bumblebee, he's much bigger. So you definitely are getting a much larger Voyager class figure, as we'd expect, to be honest. But I think this is where I'm going to finish and round this video up. I also want to say there's a couple of outtakes at the end where things didn't exactly go my way. A reminder that the transformation process video is both ways, so it's from robot to jet and back again, with some tips if you want to watch that. Otherwise though, guys, let me know what you think of this particular figure in the comments. Do you want to see it get reused over and over? As I said, we already know we've got a thrust, and we already know that we've got Thundercracker coming. Do you want to see a Skywarp as well? Let me know in the comments, and of course, please, here it comes. Hope there's not too much of a glare. And with this guy, it gets away with this backdrop. With the Bumblebee ones that we've had recently, just doesn't suit it or look good at all. Whereas that, again, excuse the glare, doesn't look too bad whatsoever. Let's move. Okay then, back for the final time, back in this robot mode. Before we have a quick look at where we're going to use and how we're going to use his accessories, I've just had a quick thought, and it's my only, and it's not even negative because I'm not even sure that they could have done it. Maybe they could have got a Decepticon symbol or logo on here, but of course it would then be moving out and about. But maybe they could have just put one on there. I'm not too sure, but it still looks great. I do really like it. I can't believe I just knocked the head off again. Let's put that.
Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.